Thank you, Andrew. We're cooking here in the UK, as they would say. John Plueger, CEO of Air Lease Corp. You guys do a lot of business at these shows.
We do.
You've been around. You've seen when there are lean years and not lean years.
Right.
First time in 3 years. What are you expecting in terms of momentum?
I think we're going to see strong momentum here, Phil. I anticipate a lot of very significant orders. Clearly, air travel is back. It's back with a vengeance. You know, airlines are coping with the demand. They're having some problems coping with it. We see here at Heathrow, you know, flight cancellations, et cetera. But the fundamental fact is that the demand for air travel is back. People are grabbing airplanes. You can feel it here at the momentum at the air show and all the discussions. So I would say we're back, and we're back stronger than ever.
And yet, at the same time, your customers,
yes,
airlines around the world,
yes,
cannot get airplanes
exactly right,
fast enough.
Exactly right.
How long does that last? Is this something that extends well into 23, 24?
Yeah, it's hard to say. You know, I envision it lasting another couple of years. We have supply chain constraints. You know, the engine manufacturers can only build engines so quickly. The supply chain to the airframers are the same thing, so they're cranking them out as fast as possible, but that's the limiter. And then the airlines, of course, have to get around the pilot shortages and their own infrastructure situation. So we have a time where just at peak demand, you have these constraints. But I think at the end of the day, the industry has an amazing ability to sort this out. Even if it takes another year or two, the demand will be there. And I think we're looking at a very strong 10 years ahead.
You have a unique view because you have customers around the world.
Yes.
So you know how it is in every single market.
Yeah.
We tend to think what's happening in the U.S. is unique to us. Set the record straight. In terms of staffing shortages, what we're seeing in the U.S. is not unique to us only, correct?
No, not at all. I mean, you see it here in Europe. You know, I referenced earlier all the flight cancellations in Heathrow. You know, Asia is still recovering. I would say that's the last part of the world that for international travel has lagged a little bit. But we fully expect going into the back half of this year and the second half of next year, more and more and more of Asia will open up. China is still restricted, really, really restricted. And as long as China remains restricted, it has such a big influence over the rest of that region. But that region will come. The demand there is huge. And airlines are, in fact, increasing their frequencies in international travel all over the place. It will take longer, but it will come.
How worried are you about, let's start, number of issues here. Let's start first off with inflation.
Yes.
And when you talk with airlines and your customers, inflation, what's your concern there?
Yeah. Look, everybody's concerned about rising inflation, rising costs, rising interest rates. But ironically, that's one of the things that's spurring demand for us in our aircraft, because airlines know that airplanes are going to be more expensive a year from now, 2 years from now. So that's part of the reason why they are coming to us to secure lease extensions, to secure as many new airplanes and sign the contract today before they know it's more expensive tomorrow. And then finally, you have all of the huge pressure, especially here in Europe, on the environmental side. So that's all factoring in.
And the potential for a recession, whether in the U.S. or elsewhere.
Yes.
I know we've got this pent-up demand out there, and the airlines are a little bit insulated.
Yes.
But are you worried?
It'd be wrong for me to say that we're not watching and we're not concerned. However, when you see this level of demand, even with where fuel prices are today, people even going in their car from A to B, it's expensive, but they're doing it. And I think that this momentum, I'm hoping, will continue to overcome any headwinds from inflation, interest rates. People have been locked up for 2 years. And I think human nature takes over. Certainly there's a point at which pricing elasticity drops in, and it may have an influence on ticket pricing. It is having an influence on ticket pricing. I don't think we're there yet. But even with that, I think if you look out 3, 5, 7 years, we're looking at a very good picture.
John Plueger, CEO of Air Lease Corp.
Thanks, Phil.
It's going to be a big couple of days out here.
Huge
A lot of
days.
orders. Guys, we'll have some news about some of
Yes.
those large orders coming up a little bit later on. CEOs of both Airbus as well as Boeing. We're going to be talking with them and a whole host of other guests. Back to you.